Hello. Well, sunflower season at my house is at its end. We had a pretty good rainstorm. Kind of lasted for 2 weeks, I think, off and on. One good solid drencher. Tony's whole place out here was flooded. In some ways that was good. It spread out new grass seed and planted itself, and it's growing. We haven't watered since that rain, which has been at least a week, maybe 2. The other bad thing though is it also planted new weeds. The sunflowers, there's a few still growing, but I wanted to make this video just to show you, even though they're done and it's a little sad and they look kind of depressing, you can still use the stems. I'll just show you real quick. Let me flip this around. So these are the stragglers, these tiny little bitty blooms. This bed over here was my most pest ridden, but it still did just beautifully. You can see the leaves are toast. But still, we still have, like this one is bent all the way down and it's still got a flower on the end. I did make the mistake of leaving them. I didn't spread them apart, or thin them rather. So they didn't get probably as much nourishment as they needed. But even these guys, all of these were beautiful producers. You can see one of the bigger heads down there. I was shocked at how much they dry up. Like a big, beautiful flower will shrink. I'll show you in the Studebaker bed in a minute. You could keep these and see they just drop. These are all on the ground. So yeah, I'll probably have wild sunflowers. That will not hurt my feelings at all. See, that one I cut and left for the birds to eat. Anyway, the Studebaker, you can see how big they were. I'll show you before picture and after. But like this little guy right here, all you do is, there we go. There we go. Even the bigger ones, just thin them right out. And the birds and the insects and stuff, we're still getting use out of these. Isn't that pretty? So once you get them all stripped, which I should have gloves on, but you know I don't. Once you get them stripped, or you could do it after the fact, just take some scissors or clippers, I have both, and just, I'm gonna cut mine about 1 inch or 2 above the ground. And there's you a nice stake for staking up other plants. It's hollow inside. This one's thin, so it's pretty fragile. Now see, I broke that one, but I want to leave the piece in there so I know where I planted last time. And I'll just pull this one up for demonstration. That's on this tiny little thing, that's the root ball. These bigger ones have root balls about 1 foot around, but this is gonna feed the soil and keep it nourished and stuff. I'll bury him back in there. And aerated and all that. So if I did want to go back and plant a winter garden, which I can't this year, but if I wanted to plant a winter garden or next spring, I'll know where these were so I can plant between them instead of directly on top of them. So this one right here is a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna cut it. Might need 2 hands. See if I can use the rock to brace it. Nope. Timber, here goes, here goes. There we go. So you can see down on the inside how it's hollow, but it's still pretty strong. Like this part down here that's really dry, that is hard. This still has some give, but this down here that is rock solid. So I'm just gonna lay these down in the bed and let them continue to dry out. But I wanna clean it up a little bit out here. So that's why I'm going ahead and getting them down so that the place looks tidy. It looks It looks pretty gnarly right now. Tony's working on weeding, and then he's gonna mow all these horrible little seedlings of weeds. You know, they're feeding the ground. That's okay until the grass grows in, but we also have grass growing in. So it may not be the kind we planted, but it's still good for the land, way better than the trash. So yeah, work in progress. And that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I'll set you up here. I doubt if you can watch, because I don't have my tripod. It's probably not gonna stay, but don't hurt to try, we'll see. My fancy trimmers with the wood handle got left in the Studebaker during the rain, so that's going to take a while to get all that rust off. We'll be doing that tonight. It does work a lot better than the scissors.
Your honeybee is good?
Yes, and then I picked it, and then it was green. It was turning green.
Oh.
So now I don't know.
Oh, I just noticed that it was gone.
Yeah, I picked it. But then afterwards, it was soft and fuzzy and was starting to get dark green on it. I put it over by the watermelons.
Oh, okay.
can see it's still green. So still had all the white in it. I'll let these dry out, and these will be nice, sturdy poles for next year's garden. All right, this is the base of the branch. These are two together. These were the chocolate. You can see the flowers are done. And this one still has some green. Whenever it is really done, it gets crispy. You can they just come right off like I showed you a while ago. Now, while ago. Sorry, that's my Texas accent. So you see how I pull these off right here? And they should just come off right whenever they're green. But I did that to a different one, and it put a hole in the stalk because it was dry. And so then it exposed, like there would be, instead of that all nice and smooth, it exposed a big hole. So I'm just gonna go through and cut the ones that don't come off easily. I'm just gonna cut them with my snippers, and these guys can compost here on the ground. And then afterwards, we'll cut them down here at the base. So let's do that. I'm doing the front row first just to get them laid down. And I'm just gonna leave them here in the bed. Here's my wire. They get so heavy, they were falling over, which is fine. But I wanted them to stand up so the big ones weren't falling over on top of the little ones. The exception to that is that big skyscraper. It has been tall and proud and strong. Its stem was straight. That's as much as it ever bent. See this guy right here? These mammoths, see how they're done over? Which is fine. And that actually make a nice crook, you know, like a hook, like a shepherd's hook or something. But I didn't want them hanging down on top of my other little sunflowers. So that's what I mean. Anyhow, let's get this one done real quick. Harder to do with one hand, but I've never grown sunflowers, so I am not an expert by any means, but I have watched lots and lots and lots of YouTube videos and educated myself as much as I possibly can that way. Also reading articles and things like that. So this is what, plus growing them for a season has taught me a whole lot, which, you know, practice is the best teacher. I'm on my knees and I can't reach that one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down at the base. That one's tied up. Okay, he's not tied now. This was not, this is from the yucca plant that grew last year. is pretty tall too. I was trying to use it to hold up the sunflowers, but that did not work. So this guy is probably about 4.5 feet tall. That's the diameter, and it's green, so it cuts pretty easy. I say that, and now I'm gonna have to use both hands. Okay, here it goes. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And now I've got a nice big steak that I missed a few on. Get these off. Alrighty. And I'm just laying them down over there. See, like I said, I'm leaving those. At first I was trying to do it 2 or 3 inches, but really that's a nice height. That's about 4 or 5 inches. So down he goes. All right, I'm gonna keep on going. These were the peaches, and I love how the colors are all different. Now see, a while ago I broke one of these off and put a hole. These aren't doing that. Getting windy a bit. It's incredible how strong they are. Do this better with 2 hands. I took out all of the front ones. They cut a lot easier when they are dry. I was struggling to use both hands earlier, but when they're dry, they just break right off. Like, I mean, this is strong, but it was a lot easier to cut. So because of that reason, and because there's a little nature ecosystem going on in these things, which I don't know if it's good or bad, but I was kind of disturbing them. There's some little bitty, pretty green bugs. Of course, we've got ants. I don't know if you can see that guy. And I wish I would have taken the time to get the camera to find the green bugs, because they look like little praying mantises, but they weren't. And I don't know if they're good or bad, but they're doing their thing, and that's okay. I did find a big, huge, massive bug beetle who's eating something or laying eggs or something. I don't know what he is, but I'm going to show him to you, and I'll see if I can find out. I'm sorry, hot my hair. See if I can't find out. Okay. My hair. Blah. All right. What is this? There's his back. Got a bright green butt. I don't know if he's alive. He doesn't look alive, but I'm scared to touch him. I haven't seen him move. Yeah, he's alive. He's alive. That is a live creature. Right there. Also, that I think is one of the green bugs. He's not as pretty as I thought. He's got a brown back. Let's see if I can't get a close-up of him. So he's green on the sides and underbelly, but brown. Anyway, I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're good or bad. But, you know, nature's doing its thing. And I'd rather let the tall ones dry out before I try to cut them down. I cleaned them up, tidied everything so they don't look as bad. They look kind of still pretty. I wanted to show you, like this guy. The birds didn't eat him because he was face down and they couldn't get to him. But he still has lots of seeds. You do that. See all the seeds in there? So remember that, and I will take you over to the Studebaker. I say baker, and show you what they look like after a month of drying. Okay, remember I made a short video about how I dried these out, and I was gonna see what happened to them. That one was fairly large, and it was concave shade. See how these are super strong. They hollow out in the middle, but they're still strong. So I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. I just did like that, and now I have all these seeds, right? I could roast those and eat them, could replant them, or I could give them to the birds. But I just wanted to see what happens if I just let them to dry out. And the inside is spongy. It's getting kind of moldy because it was rained on. But those are seeds. That is a big old long seed. So I do believe these are going to be bird food. I can't decide if I should just take this cover off and let the birds have at it. That's probably what I'll do. Or if I should help them out. I think they can do it themselves. It's pretty soft, and birds are pretty inventive. So yeah, birds are going to have some nice meals for the next few weeks. It's supposed to rain Saturday, which today's Sunday. So even these, you don't think there's anything under there, but hundreds of little seeds in there. God is pretty amazing, y'all. Look at that. Now again, I imagine these weren't supposed to be powdery like that. That is a lot of pollen, but they got rained on and left. So we haven't been messing outside since it rained. We were just letting nature do its thing and plant what it wanted to plant, and then we were going to clean up afterwards. So, all right, look how pretty. Like even dry. Here's my first one. The one I have my profile picture with. That's that guy right there. And he was so big. Remember, he was as big as my face. And now he's only the size of my hand. Okay, so this is the one that I have the other picture with. Again, I am sorry about my hair. Anyway, this is the one I had my picture with. And that's how much they shrink and dry up. I like how this is kind of, flat. And then these ones are big puff balls, and other ones kind of curl up on themselves. Anyway, there we go. I'm out. My head was up underneath there. I guess I won't end this video today. We will come back and you can watch me take those guys down. I did bring the ladder out because I had intended on taking them down today, but we'll just put this one on hold until we take those down, and I feel like that'll be a fun day, so I'll see you then.